Are there certain things that you should never say to a Taurus man? The last thing you need is this stubborn sign stonewalling you because of something you said. Even if you've got the best of intentions, something you said may just have this guy switching right off, and that's not what you want when you're falling for him. Here's what not to say. There are just some things you don't ever say to a Taurus man. Because all you'll get in return is him digging in his heels, pursing his lips and crossing his arms. Everyone knows that dating this obstinate sign can be a challenge, and that you have to tread carefully when you want to say something. Luckily, he's not the dramatic type, so he won't act like a diva when you step a foot out of line, but it's just not nice seeing him go cold or quiet, or withdrawing his affection from you. He is the most loving, sweet and considerate sign, when he's kept happy and never pushed or forced. That should be your number one rule when communicating with a Taurus man. No pushing, and no forcing. And absolutely no telling him what to do or when to do it. You'll find that if you try and boss him around, he will just push back. Don't forget to click the link in the description below and download my free ebook. What else should you never try to say to a Taurus man? Number 1. Let's try something, somewhere new. Never suggest somewhere or something new to the typical Taurus guy. You can, but you'll have to drop hints, and make him think it came from him. Isn't that true for all men? Making them think an idea is theirs. Well, no, your Taurus man is way more closed off to new things than any other sign, and actually gets quite anxious when someone suggests something new. You see, Taurus men are scared of change. Routine is comforting to this habit-bound sign. It makes him feel safe. And you coming along and springing something new on him just makes him feel insecure. Tread carefully, lightly and slowly when you want to bring anything or anywhere new into his life. Don't say I didn't warn you. Number 2. I'm not into commitment. Even if it seems like your Taurus fella is never ever going to commit to you, trust that he will, over time. It takes a great deal of patience and waiting before he steps up and trusts you, and when he does, he commits for life. He'll be your rock, your anchor and your place to come home to. He truly wants that from a relationship, however he behaves. But, if you say at some point that you don't want commitment, maybe to test him or push him, you'll find that he completely withdraws. It's a terrible idea to try and test him in this way, or try to make him believe that you're not putting pressure on him. Because that's what we women do, we try and conform to what we think our guy wants from us. Number 3. Can you pay for this please? Can you lend me money? Here's the thing. The sign of Taurus is extremely attached to their money. As indulgent and luxurious as this sign is, it's also a little stingy. If he wants to spend money on you, that will be his choice and his choice alone. He must never feel like he has to. You may find he's also the type of person to hoard his money, and have very clear delineations of what's his, and what's yours. So, if you ever say to him, "Can I please borrow money?" you're signing your relationship death warrant, unless you have a very good plan in place to pay him back. Also, saying to him that he should pay for something is like taking a knife to your connection and cutting it. You'll find that he shuts down and withdraws his affection quite sharply. In short, never mess with his money, and let him take the initiative to pay for, provide or loan money to you if he wants to. Number 4. You need to decide right now. One way to turn his affection right off for you is by putting pressure on him to make up his mind. Literally, there are few worse things you can do to a Taurus man. If there is something you want to change or ask him to do or be open to, you have to plan ahead. You have to suggest it, then give him loads and loads of time to decide for himself what he wants to do. Usually, what happens is that he does come around, eventually. But only if you give him space and time, and the patience that he needs, to come to his clown conclusions. Number 5. Let's do something wild and crazy. So, you're keen to have spontaneous road trip, or to go backpacking around the world for a few months, or maybe you want to move countries. Or perhaps, on a much smaller scale, you just don't want to book a restaurant for once and fly by the seat of your pants. Saying something to him like, "I want to do something wild and crazy," which is not in the context of the bedroom, will only fill him with fear and dread. This is the price to pay for dating a wonderful, solid and caring man, and it's worth it. Number 6. Stop being stubborn. Taurus men know they're stubborn. Trust me, they really do know, because everyone's told them. However, if you tell them they're stubborn, that's different. They don't like it. They'll just get even more stubborn, and then you'll have a war in your hands, as well as a very grumpy man. Of course, sometimes, you will just explode and tell him what's what. But generally speaking, you should try and avoid any mention of this word to him in the context of his personality. Number 7. You should get rid of this. Did you know that Taurus men are hoarders? Well, if you didn't, now you do. He loves collecting stuff, whether it's his favorite hat from 20 years ago, or books that he never plans to read, or films that he loved and watched once. You see, having things makes the Taurus man feel safe, protected, and secure. He is an earth sign, which means that he's quite materialistic. And he loves to see his hard-earned money go on something physical and tangible. So, never tell him he needs to get rid of something. He will look at you in dismay, and all you'll end up with is a stubborn man who refuses to let go of anything, ever. Let him get there, in his own time. Have you ever dated a Taurus guy? What are some things you found out to never say to him? What have you noticed that pushes his buttons? Your stories are valuable to me, and I'd love to hear them. Please go ahead and post in the comments box below. If you like this video and find it helpful, please give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, so you get notified whenever I post new content, and follow me on Instagram for daily relationship tips.